Hey everybody, this is Lakia. This is my Draw My Life video. I'm finally making one. I'm gonna try and wrap up 22 years of my life. So we're starting back in 1990 when I was born, October 5th, 1990. My mom was only 2 months from turning 18. She's always told me my dad was actually in jail when she was in labor, so you can pretty much assume how my childhood went. So 2 years later, my mom finally got married, but she didn't have a wedding. So it was me, my mom, my stepdad, his 2 kids from a previous relationship. His daughter was a few months older than me, and his son was a few months older than one of my brothers that my stepdad and my mom had together. My 2 younger brothers, names were Tyrell, who was born November 1992, and Davin was born October 1994. So yeah, by the time my mom was my age now, she had 3 kids. About 1996 or 1997, my mom and stepdad ended up separating, which I was too young to know why, and I never asked why. They never got a divorce though, even to this day. My mom said it's because they couldn't afford it, and now she just doesn't want to be bothered with it, but she definitely doesn't want him back. My dad was in and out of jail my entire childhood. I've mainly been told it was because of feeding. Anyway, I guess he was out at some point because my mom dated him again for a little while until he got locked back up again. Then my mom found out she was pregnant. And then in August 1997, my mom gave birth to my little sister, Ren. While my mom worked hard to take care of all her children by herself, our grandma watched us while she worked. From then on, my mom had different men come in and out of our lives while she dated. Some we didn't like, some we did. Some broke her heart. There was 2 men she dated that tried to rape me. One went as far as almost getting there until I began to fight. And he didn't want to wake my mom. Yeah, from both men they tried to get me at night while my mom slept. The only person I told was my grandma. But just like the men told me not to tell anyone, I've told her not to tell anyone either. But when I think about it now, I wonder why she didn't tell anyway, just because someone was messing with her grandchild. But anyway, when my dad would actually be outside of jail, I would visit him on the weekends. If he bought me anything, like clothes, it always looked to me like a guy should be wearing it. So I was pretty much looking like a boy when I was younger. Especially since my mom kept my hair in cornrows and beads at the end. Although I was always excited to spend time with him, he would always end up spending the weekends we were supposed to have together with his other friends. At least that's what I thought. He was out partying and things, and I would always spend my time with his girlfriend, the girlfriend he had at the time. I would spend most of my weekends with her nieces, and their names were India and Asia. They were cousins. We were really close. I mean, they were close to my age, and we was like really close. So anyway, my mom became pregnant again from one of her boyfriends at the time, which she never brung the boyfriend she had at the time. She never brung him around us. I guess it's because they didn't date long. While she was pregnant, she met this really tall guy who didn't mind dating her, even though she was pregnant. I always looked at my mom as wanting to be loved by someone, like a soulmate of her own, but was constantly doing wrong throughout her life of having her kids and things. But this man here was even worse than the rest. Within the first year of them dating, everything was good. Even with the birth of my baby brother Daquan in February of 2001. Everything was great that first year. In 2002, I met the coolest chick ever in my neighborhood, and we became the best of friends. We did everything together. I mean, we would dance and sing. We both wrote poetry and songs. We were really inseparable. She was like a big sister I never had. We met the summer of 2002, and I was 11 and she was 13. 5 years later, in 2007, I got my first job at Burger King as a cashier at age 16, and got my first car, a green Ford Escort. 2002 to be exact. I didn't stay there long, but like 2 months, and then quit because I didn't get along with one of the crew leaders. One night in the summer of 2007, while my mom and her boyfriend Doug were doing a daily routine of fussing, things got too much for my mom, so she and all of us, all her kids, went to stay with our grandma for the night. And then early the next morning, about 3 or 4 in the morning, while it was still dark out, my mom received a call that our home was on fire. So we rushed over to see our home in flames. We couldn't do nothing but cry. We cried because everything, all the pictures, the home videos were gone. We cried because we also could have been in there when the fire was started. We cried because nothing like this happened before. Our neighbors told us they saw Doug leaving the house on the one thing he always drove, his scooter. Yeah, so he's the one that started the fire. The rest of the house was really smutty like. So we pretty much lost everything. We lived with my grandma for a few months until my mom could afford a new place. Lucky for me, I didn't have many clothes to start my senior year with, but luckily a few days before my first day of school, I got hired at Arby's. I worked there and graduated on Friday the 13th, June of 2008. But don't worry, I didn't fall down the stairs or anything. I actually met Jesse about 2 months before I graduated. But I had just got out of a relationship with someone. So every time Jesse would ask me out, I would tell him no. But eventually I said yes about 4 or 5 months later, since he seemed like a sweet guy and he had a really great sense of humor. I really wasn't liking the fact that he had 3 kids, and I could never see myself dating someone 9 years older than me. So yeah, we started eventually dating in August of 2008. So after I graduated in June of 2008, I took a year off before heading to college. But in August of 2009, I went to a community college for cosmetology. I didn't really like the school anymore after my first semester because of the high level of drama, which affected my learning, and I found myself more interested in manicures. So I dropped out of college in early 2010. But don't worry, I was planning to go back that fall to become a manicurist, but couldn't afford it, so I continued working at Arby's until I had the money saved up. Later on that year, I found out we were expecting in December of 2010. It really caught us by surprise. But we were so excited to have our own baby. I created my YouTube, lakiaj90, and started vlogging until I found out we had a miscarriage in January of 2011. It really had an effect on me, especially with it happening so fast. I really thought I weren't able to have children. I decided to move out of my mom's house to live with Jesse to be closer to him. We decided to try for a baby, even though we weren't married or anything. It was something we both wanted and knew we could raise a child together. After weeks from trying with no luck, as soon as we gave up trying, we became pregnant 4 months after the miscarriage, and we were really happy. We both got a new place and really prepared ourselves, and our baby boy made his arrival January 24th, 2012. Having a child was the most rewarding thing in the world for us. Things are really looking good for us. I mean, I even got a promotion at work. I got a promotion at work as the store manager. Kobe's first year of life flew by so fast. Even today, with him being a year and a half, it just seems like yesterday when we brought him home. I had a great party for Kobe, except none of my friends showed up, which really had an effect on me. But as long as Kobe was happy, that was all that really mattered. Even my best friend I had since I was 11 didn't show up or wish him happy birthday, so I decided to end our friendship. But it wasn't just because of that. She didn't attend his baby shower, didn't come see him at the hospital, and didn't show up at his birthday party. I felt like things were just different with us now that I became a mother. But actually just a few days ago we started talking again and things are much better now. So anyway, February of 2012, Jesse finally proposed to me when we visited the beach for the first time. I was so happy and excited I couldn't believe it. He finally proposed. I am really the luckiest girl ever to have such a wonderful guy in my life. For us to have the wedding of our dreams, I decided to leave Arby's of 5 years to work at Smithfield Packing, and I'm so glad I did. I wish I would have left sooner. So anyway, this is pretty much where I am in life. This was pretty much the short version of my life without all the details. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and like my Facebook page for the most recent updates on me, Kobe, and our family.